Are video games a waste of time? No. No, they're not. Welcome, everybody. I'm the Seventh Sword, and now it's time to delve into this. So I'm going to preface this whole thing by saying that I really like Joe Rogan's format. I think that the discussion videos he does is very necessary. I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched a good number of them, and I really like the discussions that take place. It's very interesting, and it's great to see that in a world today where people seem to do a lot of screaming and yelling without any sort of form of research or context behind why they're screaming or yelling. I think the second that you start yelling at someone else instead of just having a discussion with someone else, you immediately lose. That's just me, though. So I really like that he does that on his channel. And I think we need more of that, because people can explain their side of something, and then you can be like, you know what, that's valid, or you know what, no, it's not. And you can state your reasons why. So that's just what we need more of, in my opinion. But moving on to the topic at hand. Video games are not a waste of time. This is something that I disagree with Joe on. Now, I'm not coming at him. I know that when you do lots of YouTube videos, you just say a lot of things, and you say things that pop into your head. He probably genuinely believes what he said, and I'm just going to state my counter argument to it. That's it. So, to me, video games are not a waste of time, and I'll explain why. So he used an example of jujitsu, and he said somebody who does jujitsu for 3 years has then become a master, they've got a purple belt, and maybe they can open their own school, and they have their own students, and they have their own income, and they're successful, and things like that. He also compared, he lightly compared, saying, you know, kids these days don't have role models to look up to, so they do drugs and they play video games, and he says video games are addictive, and it looks like he's an avid video game player. So it sounds like he enjoys them, but he just seriously thinks that they are a waste of time. But he's looking at it from an athletic perspective only, it would seem. He's not looking at it from an artistic perspective, because he basically goes on to completely contradict himself right in the next statement when he talks about how he wanted to be a comedian, and he's lucky that his parents weren't really around because he didn't have anyone to say, yeah, that's impossible. There's not a lot of comedians out there. And while he did say and acknowledge that people have become successful playing video games, he didn't acknowledge the creative side. He didn't think about someone who plays video games wanting to get into the industry as a creator, not necessarily just a YouTube star or YouTube sensation playing games and things like that. There are several people out there who play games for 3 years, only 3 years, and they get inspired, and maybe they want to make their own game, so they download an engine and they mess around with it, and who knows, maybe they make an indie game and it becomes successful. I mean, there's so many indie games out there right now, and so many examples of people taking their life into their own hands, making a game, and it working out. There's also a lot of examples of people working just as hard and it doesn't happen. I wonder how many people have done jujitsu for 3 years and it went nowhere. Same thing with people who get gym memberships. You can go ahead and get it, but if you're not really passionate about it, or you don't follow through with it, or even if you are passionate about it, there's still a high chance that you don't succeed, but you have to try to succeed in the first place. You're not going to succeed if you do not try. So my whole point with this is that someone who plays a video game for 3 years can be inspired to maybe go on to be a voice actor, to make music, to make the artwork, to make the programming. And they can become widely successful in that industry, because it is a booming industry, and it can easily become your career if you are passionate about it and you work hard. Just like with anything else. It's only a waste of time. Anything is a waste of time if it is doing more harm in your life than good. That's the simple thing. And maybe that's what he was trying to say, but I'm not really here to interpret what he said. I'm just here to counter exactly what he said, because only he can give an explanation about what he actually meant. That's it. He's the only one that can do that. So all I can do is take what he said and then state my response to it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all later.